The diner door swung open with a faint jingle as a tall, rough-looking man in a leather jacket stepped inside. His boots thudded heavily against the worn-out wooden floor. Conversations halted. Forks froze mid-air. Everyone stared. Tattoos covered his arms and a scar ran down his cheek like a warning sign. He looked like the kind of man no one wanted to cross. But that night, in that small-town diner, this same man would do something that would leave everyone speechless. Something so unexpected, it would remind them all that kindness wears many faces. It was past 9 p.m. when Sarah, a single mother of a 7-year-old girl, pushed open the same diner's door. Her clothes were worn, her face pale, and her eyes carried the exhaustion of someone who'd been fighting too many battles alone. She worked two part-time jobs and still struggled to make ends meet. Her daughter, Lily, was waiting at home, probably pretending to be asleep because her stomach was empty again. Sarah had promised her she'd bring something nice to eat tonight, but life didn't always keep promises. She slipped into a corner booth and ordered the cheapest meal on the menu, a small bowl of soup and a biscuit. She ate slowly, trying to stretch each bite. Every spoonful carried guilt. Every glance at the clock reminded her that Lily was home waiting. At the table next to hers, a group of young people laughed loudly, leaving half-eaten plates of burgers and fries. The smell was almost unbearable. Sarah's eyes darted toward those plates, then down at her half-finished soup. Her throat tightened. When the waitress came over to clear the nearby table, Sarah hesitated, her voice trembling. "Excuse me," she whispered. "Would it be okay if I took those leftovers? For my daughter?" The diner went quiet. Conversations dimmed to murmurs. The waitress froze, unsure how to respond. One of the customers snickered under his breath, muttering something about people these days. Sarah's cheeks burned with embarrassment. She wanted to disappear. That's when a deep, gravelly voice came from across the room. "Pack it up," the biker said, not even looking up from his coffee. Everyone turned. The big man, the one nobody dared speak to when he walked in, was staring straight at the waitress. "You heard me," he repeated. "Pack all those leftovers. Fresh ones, too. She's taking them home." Sarah's eyes widened. "Oh no, I didn't mean—" He raised a hand gently to stop her. "Ma'am," he said quietly. "Please, let me." The waitress, still unsure, nodded and hurried to the kitchen. The biker stood up and walked over to Sarah's table. Up close, he looked even more intimidating. Heavy boots, thick beard, leather vest with a patch that read Iron Shadows MC. He sat down across from her, his voice low but kind. "You've got a daughter, huh?" Sarah nodded, eyes glistening. "She's 7. I just wanted to bring her something nice." He smiled faintly. "My mom used to do the same. We didn't have much either." When the waitress returned, carrying not just the leftovers but 2 freshly packed meals, the biker paid for everything, including Sarah's bill, and slid the bags across the table. "Tell your little girl," he said. "Someone out there believes she deserves a full stomach." A tear spilled down Sarah's face as she whispered, "Thank you. I don't even know your name." "Doesn't matter," he said softly. "Just make sure she eats." Sarah left the diner clutching the warm food to her chest like a treasure. The biker watched her walk out into the cold night, then quietly went back to his coffee. But that wasn't the end of their story. A week passed. The biker, whose name was Mike, returned to the same diner. He sat at the same booth, ordered his usual coffee, and stared out the window. The waitress, curious, asked, "You come here every night now?" He shrugged. "Habit, I guess." That's when the door opened again, and in walked Sarah, this time with her daughter. Lily wore a small pink jacket that looked a size too big, her hair tied in 2 neat braids. She was holding something, a small handmade card, decorated with crayons and stickers. Sarah spotted Mike and hesitated. Then she smiled and walked toward him. "I was hoping you'd be here." Mike stood, surprised. Lily stepped forward shyly and handed him the card. "Mum said you're the reason I had dinner that night," she said.
"So I made you this?"
He unfolded the paper carefully. Inside was a crooked heart and a line written in shaky handwriting. "Thank you for feeding my tummy and my heart." The big man swallowed hard. For a long moment, he couldn't speak. The entire diner, sensing the emotion, went still again. Just like that night. He cleared his throat and crouched down to Lily's level. "You're welcome, little one," he said softly. "And you tell your mom she's doing an amazing job." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "You didn't have to help me that night," she said. "But you did, and it changed everything." Mike smiled faintly. "You know, sometimes life gives us chances to be the person we wish someone had been for us." Lily hugged him tightly before leaving. Mike stayed still for a while, staring at the card in his hands. He felt something shift inside him, a quiet peace he hadn't known in years. As Sarah and Lily walked out into the evening light, the waitress whispered, "You really left the whole diner speechless again, huh?" Mike chuckled softly. "Guess it's a good kind of silence this time." He looked down once more at the little heart on the card and smiled. Sometimes it takes just one small act of kindness to remind the world that even the roughest hands can hold the gentlest hearts. Never judge someone by how they look. Their story might be the one that restores your faith in humanity.